This is an opportunity for young people and adults alike to place politicians and people of influence on the hot seat to demand or inquire what they're doing for the well-being of young people. Today we have a very prestigious panel with a number of high-profile politicians and media pundits who are also very prestigious chair will introduce shortly.
Okay, some of you may know me, some of you may not know me. It doesn't matter whether you do. This is not about me. But anyway, I'll introduce myself. Misha Iman Malley. I'm Iman Malley. Today, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who, all of you invited me here today to chair this session of the West Belfast Youth Talks Back. This is not about me, it's about you, the young people. Many of you weren't even born, I presume, when the ceasefire happened. History is behind you. Your history is ahead of you. So this is an opportunity for you to discuss where you think you're going. First of all, I'm going to invite Dawn, the former leader of the Progressive Unionist Party, to say a few words of introduction about herself and her politics, how she arrived at this point in her life politically, etc. Dawn Purvis, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Eamon. Can I thank the organisers of the West Belfast Festival for inviting me to take part in the youth panel today. I'm delighted to be here. I got involved in politics December 1994, a short while after the ceasefires were called. I suppose I was inspired listening to people like David Irvine and Billy Hutchinson talking about things changing, things needing to change, and offering a peaceful way forward. But more importantly for me, it was a new way of talking about the loyalist working class community that I hadn't heard before. I hadn't heard from the Ulster Unionist Party, I hadn't heard from the Democratic Unionist Party. It was a breath of fresh air politics. I was interested in working class politics, in empowering people, and because I feel that working class people are the salt of the earth, but they don't get the opportunities that other people get.
Gerry Adams, like myself, you've been around so long that people might think that you and God made the world. Just a question of introduction. How did you get involved at your very earliest moment in time in what became the Troubles, the history of West Belfast, etc.? Gerry Adams.
Thanks, Simon. 1964, I was in school. I was at St Mary's School down in Divis Street, and there was an election. Sinn Féin fought the election, and they had an election office just opposite St Congall School, and they put a tricolour in the window, and Ian Paisley threatened to come and take the tricolour out of the window unless the IUC did it. And the IUC came and took the flag out, smashed in the window, took the flag. And the Republicans put the flag back, and that became known as the Divis Street riots. And we were going back and forth to school in the middle of all of this. I was from a Republican family on both sides, my maternal and paternal side, but I was nationally conscious, very conscious of my Irishness, but wasn't very politically conscious. And that's what triggered it. I remember going and getting a copy of the Special Powers Act, because I wanted to figure out how they could do this. And then I read just incessantly.
Now, Courtney, do you think this is cosmetic? Do you think there's merit in this? Do you think there's an opportunity here for people like you to learn something about how politicians behave and contribute to your community?
Yeah, well, I think that this is a good chance for young people to have say in what they want.
Margaret?
Well, there have been several events and stuff like this. It goes back many years. It's usually hosted here, but and it is a good forum for us to make our views known and to help sort of promote change in our end of society, at least.
So, what is the biggest change, Margaret, that you would like to see happening in your community as a young person studying at this point in time?
I think it's mostly just availability for people to get together and to get off the streets, youth clubs and things like that. Because, I mean, I have lots of access to stuff like that. I'm at university, I have clubs all over there. But younger, whenever I would have been at the maybe secondary school and stuff, there wasn't an awful lot of after-school activity available that would have been around. And sort of, because that's when friends of mine fall into antisocial behaviour because they don't have anything else to keep them occupied.
Do you believe that the system is doing enough to try and facilitate young people who feel at a loose end?
No, I don't. And I think what has been lacking in the system for quite some time is the voices of young people being heard at the heart of government. I think we have policy makers, we have legislators, and we have people like myself as a politician who represent people at various levels of government. And I think it's important. I couldn't do my job as a politician, as a political representative, if I wasn't informed about people's views. So I wouldn't profess to represent young people's views unless I had spoken to young people and I had taken their views, and I do that, and I think it's important.
Gerry, can you cast any light on it before my going to the floor?
Well, I think we need a totally different type of politics, and I like to think that I'm involved in a different type of politics. The political representative should be a conduit for the citizen, and if republicanism is about anything at all, it's about citizenship. So every citizen, just by virtue of being born, has rights. That's what differentiates between republicanism and everything else. And I represent this constituency of West Belfast. When I was here in this school meeting the senior forum just over the last year, I was down in St Dominic's meeting them. I try to engage and listen proactively to what young people have to say about all sorts of issues. I think young people need to seize every opportunity they have to influence politics, because we need a social revolution in this country, a peaceful, democratic social revolution, but we need a revolution in this country. And I'm sure that the conditions that are in Ballymurphy are the same as the ones for these lads here out in Lisbon. Exactly the same. Don will vouch for this, that the working conditions for people in East Belfast, for Royalist East Belfast, are exactly the same as Republican West Belfast. All of that needs.
To be honest, sometimes I could sit there and listen to a politician on the news, and I could sit there and be like, I don't know what that person's talking about.
Why is that? Why is that?
I don't know, it's just...
Is it the language they're using?
Yeah, it probably would be the language.
Are they talking over your head?
Yeah, most of the time anyway.
Right, okay.
Young people, and it's not just young people, it's adults. Not all of them really understand the roles the politicians do, and they don't see the hard work behind the scenes, the committees, the things that they are trying to get through. And it's really that lack of education around that to fill in the gaps to see, no one they're saying there's nothing's being delivered, but maybe if there was a bit more education around that, a bit more linkage, that would be clear.
I think as young people today are fed up of the old style of politics, the old style of orange to green politics. And I think that is a reason, I think, why a lot of people don't vote in today's elections. They see it as distant, they see it as not relevant to them, but in actual fact it is. I think the question is, for us today, I think events like this are, fantastic. But I think in terms of, in the future, how can we bring more people together, from different communities, from Lisburn, from Davis and whatever. I think the reality is, people were talking about the youth clubs and the fact there's hardly any youth clubs and all this kind of stuff for young people. That's absolutely true. But the fact is, there's going to be billions of pounds of cuts in youth education. So as bad as they are at the moment, they're going to get worse. So I think in terms of how can we bring people together and how can we change society and revolution and all this kind of stuff, as Gerry was saying, I think the real revolution is not going to come within the assembly or with politicians. It's going to come on the ground with normal people getting up and changing the world.
Now, does anyone understand what RPA means? Does anyone understand what PEDU means? So, Gerry, I'm asking, is there a breakdown in communication due to language within politics?
Well, I don't know what PEDU is. But it's more than that, you see. If what's happening politically doesn't relate to people in their own lives, then it isn't relevant to them. And that's what it comes down to. And I think there are two sides of this. I agree with everything that Don has said, but I think there's another side, a flip side to it. See, it's very hard to work the system. There are at least 7 departments dealing with issues affecting children. So me or somebody from my office, well, you would agree with this, chase your tail. Chase your tail, writing, phoning, getting connected to get stuff done. You just chase your tail. It takes ages to get stuff done. I mean, an issue which I didn't know about just recently there, and I've been chasing this issue. The parents of a child with Down syndrome have to reapply for DLA every 3 years, even though that condition of Down syndrome will not change. I'm just giving that as an example of the system needs changed. And so there's 2 ways of coming at it. One, to be educated about how the system works. But then, why should we accept that's the way it works? But, I mean, there has to be some sense of outrage. There has to be some sense of what we deserve as people.
I don't have power as an individual. I don't have the power to instruct a civil servant to do something. I don't have the power to tell the DOE, for example, to go out and put speed ramps in your state. I don't have that power. Government has power, and there's a difference between government, which is our executive, with ministers that head up government departments, and individual MLAs in the Assembly. There is a difference there. And this is the job of a media to try and educate people to that difference.
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said?